I had I had to get old Kevin in there from the selfie series at the end. Hello, welcome to another Wednesday night toy talk. Uh, got a good friend hanging out tonight. It's always a good time when this guy and I get together and we just go back and forth for a while. Um, that's not really a that's what she said moment, but we'll get there. We'll get a couple coming up soon. And since we're bringing it back, Masterversal Toy Hunter was first and foremost. And Masterversal, for you and Mikey Kukovic and Matthew LaCroix, I have a special video coming out on Saturday just for the three of you guys. So anyway, got a lot of awesome people hanging out so far. Look at all of you. Thank you so very much. And I got this guy, Scuba Pete.
What's up?
Hello, good sir.
Greetings and salutations.
How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, well, thanks for coming back.
Always.
What's new with you? What's
new with me? Can I show you something new right off the cuff?
Right, you just want to
I just want to
just ram it in there.
Okay. All right. Well, these came in the mail.
Oh,
Dun dun.
oh
Two
man,
para.
so beautiful.
Gorgeous. And here we go.
Saki it to me, baby.
Wow.
That's so crazy.
Nuts, huh?
So awesome. That's so awesome.
Out of Brazil, no less.
Yeah.
That's where it was hanging out until it came to my house. Woo! Get back up there. Yeah. That's what my week's been like already. Like, holy cow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
The only thing, and maybe I shouldn't say it. I'm sure you've probably already seen it, but if you haven't, then I run the risk by saying this that now you're not going to be able to unsee it. The desert rat's head just turned
I
off.
know. He's like, I can't look at you. Because I got it and I was like, I did like the pinball machine, like, give it a little, come on, look at me. Damn it, look at me. I said, look at me.
Yeah, just shake my arm. Awesome. Those are some great
That's
scores.
my early Christmas gifts from Leslie and Haley. So, yes, my girls.
Getting a new 3D printer.
Ooh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the Anycubic Cobra Max 2 Pro Max 2. Well, they got like 9 million names, but
that was like the Echo 9er 5er in there.
Yeah.
No, you need that for all your cool customs and stuff.
Echo Station 3TA. We've spotted Imperial Walkers. The one that has enough, the 88-liter volume one that'll print like a whole helmet in one go.
Oh, sweet.
That one. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I do have to say, Mikey, I love you. Thank you for being here. I don't know if you were here at the very, very beginning, Mikey, but I told Masterversal that I have a video coming out on Saturday for him and you and Matt LaCroix in whatever order you want to put the three of you, actually. Yeah. On Saturday. That'll be cool. We got a lot of good people hanging out.
Oh, yeah. Chat's full.
Trent says,
Thank you. Appreciate that.
yeah, golf clap. Very cool. I like it. It's just talking at the main generator.
That's right. You may start your landing now.
Maximum firepower. Yeah. Very cool. Anthony Whitehead, thank you so much. Sends a $10 super chat and says, I want to thank Scuba Pete again for an epic toy hunt in Ohio last week. And Chad just being awesome. Man, you're rad.
Oh my gosh, we had a blast last Tuesday. I took the day off, and we just hit into Cincinnati, up into Xenia, over to Dayton, and then back down. And it was just like we had to get to Xenia, Ohio, so that was a little bit of a haul. But after that, it was like we chopped it up into like 15 minutes, another toy shop, 20 minutes, toy shop. Just it was great.
That's fantastic. I like it.
Had a lot of stuff. Him and his awesome brother. Good times.
That's cool, man. I love meeting up with people and doing some good old fashioned toy hunting.
Yeah, just in the trenches.
Yeah, just getting it right, rifling through pegs.
You're like, look at this. I mean, suddenly, you're both 9 years old again. Look at this, and you run over there.
Oh, that you're like, I found this. Yeah,
like, holy shit. You're getting it, right? Because we're nothing but enablers when you get us like physically together. It's bad enough virtually, but when you're in a store next to it, be like, you are gonna get that. You're not putting that back right.
Yeah. Oh, Nick and I went toy hunting at Yo Toys here in Albuquerque, where I do a lot of my toy hunting. It's generally only 3 stores I ever go to, and they're kind of the first, because they're geographically located closest to me, but they always have good stuff. And they had the Sky Patrol Skyhawk complete.
Ooh, hello.
Very inexpensive. All the chrome was good, and I
picked
it up, and he was like,
"Yeah,"
and I was like, You want it? And he's like, no, you.
That's all right. I was like,
it's okay, man. It's cool.
Like you're at a toy show and maybe you're hunting by yourself and you pick up that what will be a cherished new item in your collection, and like people come out of the woodwork. Oh, where the hell was that? And you were like,
get on my face.
It was right there on that table.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're like sharks with blood in the water. What'd you find? Is
there another? Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me there's another.
Just Jeff, how close is Yo Toys to Interstate 40? It is actually right off of I-40 on Wantabo. So if you get off on Wantabo and you go north, you run right into it. Yeah, buddy. And then Mikey's asking if the video on Saturday is going to be risque. No, it's not. I'm tired of freaking drama, so it's like one of those kind of heartfelt videos. Yeah, because the drama has reached this point where now, I don't know. I got a comment in one of my YouTube's videos today, asking if I even collect anything.
Well, that is a green screen behind you. You're literally just in your mom and dad's basement. There's nothing there. It's just a concrete wall.
Absolutely. Yeah. Speaking of which, Mikey, look, I wore the assembly required shirt for you today. I thought that would be nice. Cool. Yeah, you got some cool pickups.
Yeah,
I got a couple.
Yeah, what you got? We always got pickups.
It's apples and oranges, right? Because you got really awesome carded figures and clamshells, and I got this bitch.
Oh, baby.
So for anybody who knows, right? I know a lot of people know the story is that when I was a kid, my mom bought me the Death Star and I threw my X-Wing into it and shattered it. And then she bought me a new one. So the ma'am and I found this at that toy show on Saturday. It is 100% down to the foam. So this, yeah.
You keep talking sexy like that.
Because I'm known like that. They cut the price down for me because they knew it was going to go to a good home. So
nice.
You know how it is, right? You got your local haunts. It pays to know people.
Yeah, it pays to know people. It pays to, shop with them often. And they appreciate your business and they cut you deals, which is great.
Yeah. And they know you're not buying it for some 6-year-old to you're at it with the crayon.
Yeah, and you're not buying it to flip it or anything like that. Yeah, no, I just want it. Mine box, you can see literally. I'm looking at it right now. Where like a kid, not me, shot BBs at it like a couple times for target practice. Like, boom, boom.
Well, you got a couple right there behind you.
Yes, I just I combined the two. I had one upstairs in our bedroom and one down here.
Oh,
that's right. Yeah.
Get a Death Star in your bedroom, man.
I did.
That's determination.
Leslie's cool. She has She-Ra's palace, so
your wife is beyond cool. Yeah, absolutely. Robert's Infinite Realms. Are you going to throw the X-Wing at it again? Actually, I don't own an X-Wing anymore. Thank you. I might throw X-30 Conquest at it. No, I will not be throwing a toy at it anymore. Jason says that's one of the all-time best Star Wars vintage sets ever.
I never had it as a kid. Only our neighbor way down the street had it, and so when we played Star Wars, and you got my land speeder and stormtrooper and all that, and you schlep down to their house to play, be like, oh, please break out the Death Star, and be like, yeah, it's I got the Death Star, and you're like, oh, I'll play with it.
Yeah. Dark Lycan 81 saying, hey, Scuba.
Hey, Baz.
Yeah, he's like, Chad, what's up, Scuba? It's cool.
Baz is new to your channel. He just found you, so give him some. Huh? What? Why am I big?
Hey, I'm just kidding. No, it's cool. Thanks for hanging out with Scuba Pete and me.
Yeah.
Will says that's no moon. Actually, it's a space station. Thank you.
Fully operational.
And keep on collecting.
Hey, Matt.
Working but listening to you legends talk dollies. Well,
thank you,
thanks
sir.
For being here, brother. Appreciate you. Yeah. See, James Lucas is like Scuba.
What's up?
There's
the regular Death Star. Oh, and the Palatoy Death Star.
Yay, Palatoy Death Star. I think this question is for you. Pete?
I really like stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
I dabble in modern, but vintage toy lines. That's where my heart is. And I just bought Micronauts, for crying out loud.
Ooh.
A month ago, my very first Micronauts. So a little moon playset with the track, and I'm like,
when the ma'am and I were at that toy show, and me, I'm like a shark. I'm like just like at Joe Fest, like I'm just running around everything, and Hans is over there just kind of like casually going through this guy's stable, the one that was directly across from Mikey and John at Call Sign Longbow. Yeah, and Hans is just kind of, he's all casual, he's not from around here where we're like,
no, he's got that island, like it's no problem, and you're like, move it.
Cool. Trinidad, it's all good. Yeah, I walk up behind him, I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Oh, that's cool. And I just reach over like this, and he's like, what do you have? And I'm like, oh, it's an Action Sailor lunchbox. And he's like, is that original? I'm like, yeah, dude, it was right next to you. And then I just walked off with it.
It's mine now. Finders keepers.
Fine. Yeah. So at the show on Saturday, like I wasn't playing. So I just, I do the racetrack laps, and I'm trying to see who's got what. I had not seen the Death Star yet. And this guy had the Jason the Wheel Warriors playset complete.
Oh, see, that's dangerous. I don't have any of that yet.
But the playset alone, I'm like,
and I'm a sucker for playsets. Come on.
Like, here's all the parts, and here's the cannon, and it. Right? Yeah. and I was like, I'll come back around. Because I don't know if I want to get.
Like, I don't want to commit to that at this nanosecond.
Go guy, get it out of my face, right? So I'm going around. I'm at like this T junction at the very back. Pete already told you this, and I'm looking, and I turn to the left. Spidey sense goes off, and I look like 200 feet down that way, and I see the corner of a green box. I just kind of see the corner of it, and I see that red writing, and I'm like, I know what that is. And I looked at the ma'am, and I was like, we got to go down there. And she's like, just go. That's cool. I'll follow you. And I run all the way down, and homeboy's got the freaking Cobra Mountain.
Yes.
Sealed.
It's so cool.
And I just saw this little corner right here. Just like this corner sticking out. And I knew exactly what it was. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to go check that out.
Old Eagle Eyes.
As I'm walking up, he's like, hey, how's it going? I was like, that Cobra Mountain playset, is it complete? He's like, yeah, it's sealed. And I was like, how much? $100. And I'm like, cool. Oh, I said the price. I'm sorry. And then as he's talking about, oh yeah, I got all this stuff and I got that stuff. And I'm like, yep, not interested. O-ring. Thank you. And then I look behind him, and then there's this.
Boom.
Right yeah. And I was like, I will take that Street Fighter Devastator right behind you off your hands. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yep. So
that's the first time I've ever seen that. I've never ever come across that in the wild.
Yeah, that Street Fighter, recoloring, kind of rebranding of the Joe stuff is freaking awesome. And yeah, as I was walking out with the Death Star box on the bottom and then the Cobra Mountain and then that and like 2 bags in each hand, everybody's like, "Hey, where'd you find that?" And I'm like, "Shut up. Go find your own stuff."
Too late.
Too late. Yeah. This guy's here.
Laser Pants. What's up, Ryan?
Laser Pants. Oh, and by the way, I will as soon as I'm done being graced by the presence of Mr. Scuba Pete, immediately after at 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be on 3 POA with this guy and Sal.
Shut the front door. Well, now I know what I'm doing the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool. Yeah, 3 POA. I think I mod for them. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
I think
Great
you mod
show
for me too. Didn't I smacked you with a wrench?
I don't think you smacked me with a wrench yet.
I thought I did. No,
you were doing wrench. You were wrench-a-paloozing the last time we were on. Like Oprah, you get a wrench and you get a wrench.
Keith Knight, thank you very much for
What's
the
up, Keith?
$10 super chat. Says, "Hey dudes, I was in a junk shop and some dude asked me what I was after. I said, I'm looking for Action Man. And he said, meet me around the back in 20 minutes.
I think he misunderstood.
No, not Action Man.
Hello.
Action Man. Don't put the pause in it. It's that whole, what is it? That Oxford comma, right? Looking for Action Man.
Keith goes into the alley and he's like, I only got £2. Oh God.
Yeah, that's so good. Thank you.
Love
Keith.
you, pal.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you so much. Dark Lycan says, thanks to Scuba for getting me back into Action Force.
So yeah, Baz is up in Scotland and we talk often, and he hits like the queen mother of all charity shops. It must be in conjunction with Keith. I'm just joking, but
right.
He comes home because I'm like, what'd you find today? And he's like, oh, you won't believe what I found today. And he's like, starts pulling out Action Force figures, like Wave 2, like 50 pence, 50 pence, a quid. I'm like, what? He got a Mobat, Action Force Mobat for super cheap, and he already had the Steeler figure, and he picked that Steeler figure up for nothing. And I went, that's a very hard to find figure. And he was like, really? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, you once again, it is. It's a magic charity shop.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got the tank, no Steeler. So
we may have to fix that.
As seen in my very first part 1 of my toy room tour.
That's right. If you haven't, check out your toy room tour.
That actually did really well.
Fell asleep to it. I mean, no, I was watching it.
Well, the thing is, I took my little handheld McDoodad, with the mic and the light and all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, I'll start over there. That'll be quick. It'll be like 15 minutes.
No. 3 hours later.
That's exactly
no, it's really cool because you went
later,
piece by piece. You didn't just, and you're like, wait, what was? I have questions. Rewind, pause. Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, because then it would be a whole bunch of what was this? What was this? What was that? So I tried to just take
quality time. Yep. If you haven't seen it,
and then that Osprey freaking flies over, and it's like, okay, right on. It's cool. Living on a military installation.
Yep, it happens.
Yeah. Rachel Salinas says, I love my Cobra Mountain. I was actually really excited to get it, and it's just one of those things. Like, if you don't get it sealed, you're gonna have a hard time getting it complete.
Awesome. My neighbor, a couple doors over, he has it. Their son's now like out of college and a member of society, but they still have it because they got grandkids. And I'm like, hey, if you ever get tired of that Cobra Mountain, think of me. I'll float you some cash. And he was like, all right,
okay.
I'm like, think of me.
Every time you see that Cobra Mountain, you think of this face.
That's right. Yeah. So we're out cutting grass, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. I know that you know that I know that you're going to tell me that Cobra Mountain. Yeah. I guess Laser Pants is saying if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's right. Yeah. Great movie.
Rachel says you can throw a HasLab Sky Striker at that Cobra Mountain. It would be the HasLab Sky Striker that fell apart. Trust me. Trust me on that.
Might disintegrate on impact.
Big Bacon is late, so he owes everyone punch and pie. And I have to say, the video that Robert's Infinite Realms put out with the action figure, and have you seen it with the Psykill?
No.
Hands. You haven't seen that?
No, but now I gotta.
You have to see it. You have to see it. It's so funny. Yeah. When you get a
so
chance,
behind.
It's so good. It's all about, the drama, right?
Mm-hmm.
The people and the drama and the stuff and the things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Complete satire. He just has fun with it. It was freaking awesome. Yeah. And then is it David Davud? Please tell me how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. I don't want to mess it up. Says, yep, 3 hours later was a good video. Thank you. I appreciate it. Woodman, can't wait for part 2.
What's up, Woodman?
It's coming.
I mean, there's
what are you gonna say?
Oh, just saying, your collection is so vast. It's gonna take a while. Part 37.
I was thinking 5, right?
5.
So I try to just smarter, not harder, and I'm like, well, there's 4 walls and a freaking island, so 5 parts. We're gonna do it in 5 parts. It is.
I like how you just and an island
and a
and everybody goes.
I mean, look behind you, right? You got the same thing going on.
Yeah, it's
yeah. So thanks for being here, Ted and Scuba. I don't know if you're aware, but Ted and Aaron started carrying 118 toys at Hella Dope Toys.
Really?
They got the Joy Toy World War II figures. Yeah. So I went and ordered several of those today.
Making a note.
Yes, please do. So anybody who's hanging out here, if you're still in the 118 stuff, which I would hope that you are if you're hanging out with me and Pete. But if you are, Hella Dope is now offering 118 stuff. They've got those awesome quality Joy Toy World War II figures, and go support an independent toy company ran by 2 cool guys.
Yep, indeed.
Big Bacon says, Scuba Pete, it's great to put a face to the name. Are you friggin' serious? You've never seen this guy before?
I'm sorry, Bacon. Yeah, I'll just cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that guy. This is the guy.
Damn,
the guy.
It's him.
He's the dude. I'm the dude.
Good to see you, dude.
We're like 25 minutes into it. We're just bullshitting. I love it.
That's what I love about hanging out with you. It's,
See, and that's the whole thing that I love about doing this. Like, we're just hanging out. We're just chit-chatting with the chat. And I don't have to have a slideshow. None of that shit. Ain't nobody got time for that, man.
No.
Nobody. Brandon R. Santa Brandon from the Great White North of Canada says, punch and pie on me. I'm late. Totally okay. Nice. I was immersed in how to add rockets to my 1/10 scale water moccasin. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, Brandon makes some cool stuff. Very cool. Thank you, Brandon.
I love it.
I appreciate it very much. I don't know if Dem Guts just got here, but it's good to see you. Either way. It's good to see Dem Guts. I like Dem Guts. That could be out of context. I don't know. Oh yes, we were going to talk about some news because some other major news just dropped today, and I'm not talking about this, but I was going to bring this up. Pedro Pascal has supposedly been cast as Mr. Fantastic.
Interesting.
Yeah, some of the trades are starting to announce that. Yes, Pericles. I actually was just watching that video before Scuba Pete jumped into the green room, and we were hanging out in private. like we do. Yeah,
We do.
Yeah, supposedly that's the word.
Excellent. I mean, I do like him as the Mandalorian, so that's kind of cool.
But
I hadn't heard that. I live underwater. Literally, I'm underwater.
Yeah. Did you see the pun that I put on your little koi pond video?
Not yet.
No, I said I don't know. This all looks kind of fishy. Dad jokes. Yeah. Robert's Infinite Realms. Yes, that video is fantastic, and maybe you can throw my new buddy in there. You know. Matt Noon says, I loved that Avalanche custom. Thank you. I'm a big fan of that Avalanche custom. Fat Red Foos here. What's up, brother? Good to see you.
What's up?
It is David. David, I need to change the spelling of my name on YouTube. That's cool, brother. David, it is. Thank you very much.
Just didn't want to say it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't want to. My last name is Italian. It has 2 L's in it. And because I live in New Mexico, 2 L's is a Y. And everyone always butchers my last name. And I'm like, and my daughter's name is Katarina, and everyone calls her Katrina. Sucks. Sucks. Well, cool, Ted. I've been trying to spread the word, my dude, as much as possible. And yeah. Tony Horton is here and says, "What's good? What's good?"
What's up?
You know, Pete's got some Action Force figures. Sure.
Just yeah. Just
and then Dave is listening while at work. That's cool, man. Thank you very much. AKA story time. Was Scuba hanging with us during karaoke at Joe Fest? No, because they were all partying up in Scuba's room.
Yeah, we kind of had an impromptu room party that
yes, we did.
Went bonkers. Yeah. Go figure. We were like ships passing in the evening, like literally, you know, like we were at the bar and we're like, you know what,
because we were all hanging out at the bar, and then you guys were like, okay, well, we're gonna go upstairs, and a bunch of us were like, we're gonna go to karaoke. So yeah, we just that's how Joe Fest rolls, baby. You gotta all over the place, and then you gotta be like me and photobomb everybody all the time with no stopping.
I think you're in every Joe Fest photo, and it's not even necessarily like friends photos. It's just like somebody doing a walkthrough of Joe Fest, and there's Chad
with the face. It's always that face, and I'm like 3, 2, 1. Yep, there it goes. I got Wilhelm constantly. He was like, "Oh, hey, Tony, can I get a photo with you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then you, and I'm like, "What?" Yeah.
Classic.
Let's talk about this. World Made of Cardboard. Has anyone seen the Valerse announcement? So that's the big news I was going to talk about. Did you see it?
Oh, no, I have not. Again,
Jesus, Pete, you took a bunch of
working all day. Stupid work.
So, Valerse Central on YouTube put out a video today that they are now partnered with Walmart. Yeah.
What?
And so, Walmart.com now has Action Force.
Slick.
And from what Bobby was saying in the video, as long as that goes well, then they're going to start carrying them in physical locations.
Wow.
And there was also discussion of a Walmart exclusive.
Holy guacamole. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So, you know, we're talking about Dollies and IPs and resurrecting IPs and death of those IPs and new IPs, you know, because with death comes rebirth. I don't know if that's supposed to be deep or anything, but it wasn't. But at the same time, like, I know a lot of people like to, people always like to punch up. You know, people always punch up at Michael. They punch up at Tony. But this isn't just good for Action Force or Valerse. Like, this is good for toy collectors. It's something different. And that's just kind of the way I see it. Like,
yeah, the fact that you've got basically one of the world's largest retailers. You know, you're in Australia, it's Big W. Yeah, that's huge. That's not a little 5 and dime mom and pop, you know, like, oh, we've got 32 stores throughout the United States.
No, that's
massive.
That's even bigger than, say, in the 80s, if you got your shit into Toys R Us,
Yeah.
or Child World, or KB Toys, it's
Think of how
bigger
many
than that.
Walmarts are near you, within a reasonable drive.
Yeah, even when
They're
Toys R Us
all
was still
over.
around in the city where I live, there were only 2. One on the east side, one on the west side.
Yep.
But there's what, like
Same.
30 freaking Walmarts easily?
Yeah, I can think of 5 right now, just like within 40 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, so it's, it's good for the company. It allows future growth. It's also, again, like we talk about, that stuff's good for competition as well. And it's good for toy collectors and especially people who like military toy lines. So I thought that was freaking awesome.
I know I got to chat with him last year, and I know that he was saying like that would be a really cool dream to come true, dream big. And
yeah,
that's
go big or go home,
amazing.
Right?
Yep.
Very awesome.
Kudos, Bobby.
Yeah, that's very awesome news for, people who love that line. And, we've seen how many years in a row at Joe Fest where it's like
out the door. It is not an understatement.
So, speaking of Chad Energy, this guy, did I miss the conversation where these two legends decided to color code their toy backgrounds to match the stream? So.
It just happened that way.
Yeah, mine's a little more red, right? Yeah. It's just it works out like that.
It does work well.
Yeah, I actually use it mostly for the logos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine's a little more red, right?
Yep.
But yeah, it's still color coordinated. But yeah, good looking out.
I'm usually kind of a sea blue when I'm just, I do change it up because they are, LED color changing pucks.
Yeah, mine are too, but I have 3 lights. They're straight up here and they just aim down.
Yeah.
Cool. They're all in the same RF wavelength.
Yep.
So if I'm trying to change the color on one and I get it to where I want it, when I go to the next one, the last one, and I'm like, stop it. And then
no, I wanted you purple and you green. Damn it.
Just Jeff says the Sky Comics announcement was cool.
I don't know anything about that.
Skybound? What are we talking about, Jeff? Please expand on that.
Enlighten us.
If you would, actually. That would be cool. Rachel's agreeing with something that Patrick said, but I don't know. Hey, Steven says you're awesome.
No, you're awesome, Steven. Good to see you.
You're awesome. Happy to serve. Yeah. Where are we going? Jim Smith says, I need a bigger storage unit after my click and play finds.
Whoa. Nice.
Are you talking about the Quonset huts? What are you talking about? I like how stuff is very like cryptic.
Yeah, mysterioso. But they're those click and play sets. Oh my gosh! Every time I pour over them, your last name is Con Pollo.
No, it's not. Actually,
Chad with chicken.
If you look at that last word and you change the P to a different letter, that would be my last name.
Huh.
But it wouldn't be pronounced Pollo. No. George Aiken says, I work with 3 Katrinas.
Good to see you, George.
Well, I have one Katerina, right? And obviously it's like Latin, Italian, whatever. Pick your Mediterranean for Catherine. So that's why I call her Catherine all the time. Pendragon says, my last name is LaForce. I'm aware of that. And people constantly ask me if it's my real last name.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Gochatron's here.
What's up, brother? What's up, Carl?
Oh, man, I'm getting away from the chat here.
It's
Scott Hughes. What is
Scott? What's up?
I always thought it was a complete missed opportunity that they didn't make Toll Booth a Navy CB. We build, we fight, we built the roads in which the Marines march. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. When is the expected shelf date?
Oh, what with Walmart?
Unknown. But they're available online on Walmart.com. Time now. Meow meow. Right meow. Hey, Mo's here. Pete.
Hey, what's up?
Good to see you, Mo. Just Jeff. Chad is Angelo from Avenging Angelo. Someone has a picture of a family over the years, and in the background is Chad all the time.
It's got a long history of photobombing.
Yeah. B Drew 90 says good news for Vala.
What's up?
Also, hello, sirs. Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
Oh yeah, and then look.
He's going right, yeah.
Selling his stuff in Walmart. He's going out of business, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they said after like Series 1, Series 2?
Uh-huh. Yeah. He just keeps plugging away.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually is that's good news, man. And it's when you work hard, that's kind of how it goes, right?
Yep.
Stephen S says the best community. Yeah, absolutely. Mo says that would be pretty awesome to find Action Force in Walmart in the not too distant future. That'd be fantastic. However, for everybody who's hanging out, if you want to see that happen, you got to start buying their stuff off the interwebs. Right. One leads to two. Indeed. I got fists. I thought it was I got hands. I got hands. Want to get O-ring red shadows.
Ooh. Mm-hmm.
Don't you have like 1 million of them?
Well, he has tons of red shadows, but he always needs more.
I mean, who doesn't? Got army builders,
right? I know Black Major's gonna be doing some red shadows, and I was like, I was like, George, look, George.
Yeah. The guy that you turned me on to in the UK is like doing a bunch of Krakens and all sorts of stuff. And
yeah, Matt. Yep.
Yeah, Matt.
The Kraken. Check him out.
Jason says, I can hear Valerse haters' heads exploding after Bobby's Walmart partnership announcement.
It's true. It's true.
I don't. I try to just, I try to just land nav around all that stuff because it's almost not even worth the energy. It's dumb. I never understood like another toy company is doing well and it, competition breeds creativity and all that stuff. And it never ended. Just the drama never stopped. So, whatever.
Yep.
James Lucas just got my Action Force Eclipse figure yesterday. Very badass figure.
Nice.
Is it regular Eclipse, Warpath Eclipse? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk some Joe. Have an awesome day. What? Okay. We're still working on Ryan getting was that called a tagline or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah. Ryan's still working on it.
Well, it takes time. You can't rush into those things.
At one point, somebody said, "Go fuck yourself, San Diego," but I think that's
Ron.
you poop mouth, poop mouth. Rachel says, "I haven't seen the core from Leonard at Walmart in a while. They could have room for Action Force." Yeah. I mean, they got a lot of room for Action Force. There isn't much Hasbro shit going on these days. When I had Kirk Bazigian on and we were talking about like they announced their holiday planogram, and I was like, wow, the boys action aisle is just going away.
Like you said, that used to be the aisle that was like this mecca, right? And as Michael French and you reiterated, Soviet grocery store.
100%. And it's just a
wreck.
And that's why when I had Kirk on, like, if I'm going to ask anybody, I'm going to ask that dude because, like, he knows this stuff. Like, he's the godfather of all of that. And he was like, you can't say it's electronics because as soon as he said, then if it's electronics, let's talk about Lego. And I was like, oh, that's the best argument ever. Yeah. And he's like, how is Lego still so popular? If it's because electronics make kids not want to play with toys. And I was like, oh, Kirk Bazigian coming out with both hands. He's just swinging.
You watch the Lego aisle. If like Target runs like a Lego $5 off coupon or something, it's like the Lego aisle just gets decimated before Christmas. Like, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, they're just like, get it all.
But, Lego's had a few things going for them over the decades, right? Decades and decades. Their quality is impeccable, always.
Yep.
Right?
spot on.
They have the name recognition that goes with the impeccable quality. They innovate all the time, and they keep their assortments fresh. Boop.
Yep.
There you go.
Imagine that.
And their costs aren't that cheap. Their stuff's not that inexpensive. I see some little sets like this for like $80. I'm like, you're on drugs.
I know.
I'm buying it. Yeah.
I got that big nod back to the original space set, you know, and that was $100, and I'm like, $100. But I used to cut grass to get my $2, $5 to buy that next Lego set, you know, back in the day.
And again, if you think the value is there to spend $100 on it, nobody can tell you it's too expensive, you shouldn't buy that, whatever, because how many of us have, you know, a freaking 3 or 4 or 5 inch or 6 inch dolly that we paid $100, $200, $300 for?
Yep.
So I don't need to hear that bullshit. B. Drew says it's great for Vala. Of course, some clowns are going to lose their minds because they got to hate on him. Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
Haters gonna hate. I mean, that's just all there is to it. World Made of Cardboard says a great Action Force Walmart exclusive: the Desert Rat Chad Scuba Pete Grindhead Gym action figure.
It's a 5-pack.
Yeah, no, it's the exclusive actually.
Who's that fat guy in the wetsuit? Oh, that's the Scuba Pete.
Scott Hughes says, I have 9 Walmarts within a 15-minute radius.
See, there you go. They're everywhere.
Dr. Duke is here. It's like Dr. Detroit. You remember that movie? Nobody talked about Dr. Detroit, where he had the glove thing. That was a great movie.
Very obscure, but good.
Yeah, Dr. Detroit is so good. Hopefully Bobby can scale up on his production. I would probably think so.
I would think that was all part of that deal.
But if you see, like, you know, when he goes in that warehouse area, he's just got stuff all the way to the ceiling.
Yep.
Crazy. George Aiken. Does Scuba have Beyond the Sea playing constantly in the background?
Beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me. I should. I usually have like Buffett, you know, playing, or as Chad knows, because when I videoed that Defiant, showing him all the imperfections and what's wrong, I had like Tiki-Aki Orchestra. He goes, nice elevator music in the background. I'm like, that's my tiki room music.
I'm like, hell yeah, man. Right? You're setting the mood. You're like, so I want to tell you this. Yep. So the Dark Energon storyline is coming with Joe's and Transformers.
Oh, okay.
Dark Energon. That whole thing with the Dark Energon, I guess they're tying it in with Classified, and I keep seeing people say stuff about Dark Energon, and that's apparently what Night Force is supposed to combat now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's cool if that's your thing, but and you know, with Valerse, the distribution will be top notch.
He bends over backwards to make it happen.
That is true. So Chad has 25 potential last names. No, not really. It's got to be, the first letter's got to be a consonant, man. Come on. First of all, right? Italian, going to be a consonant. Last name.
I don't know. It could be, hey, yo, what's Chad's name? Oh, wait, that was the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Sorry. I was like, play it.
Play it. Do it. No. Dr. Duke says, oh, yes, happy belated Veterans Day, Chad, and belated birthday, Devil Dogs. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. George Aiken's middle name is Dangerous.
I love it. His sidekick is a lot of vagina.
Come again? Okay. Ted Darklaw says, I'm hoping it's actually YOLO. You're close, but no. Man of Action. Who's screaming at us? I'm not a 6-inch figure collector, but I'm getting there. Those Val guys are pretty good. Thank you.
I dabble. My heart and soul's in 3 3/4 land, obviously, but yeah, I'm looking over at a shelf of classifieds, a shelf of Valerse, and then the Dungeons and Dragons above it. That's all over the freaking place. There's giants. There's minis. There's.
I'm the same. Yeah, I dabble in some stuff that there's some classified figures that I was like, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, like I got that torpedo. I just want Bobby to make some spear guns now in the next weapons pack. Wink, wink.
Harpoon blaster.
Mm-hmm. Por favor.
Well, the crappy one you have is called a harpoon blaster.
Shoots around coral reefs. It does.
Yeah. Asherman 55 says IPs and the concept of them died when regulations came back into the fold, and we no longer have competition among retailers, and they can continue to dwindle down. So somebody's on topic. That's good,
right? I'm glad Ashman is.
I'm just trying to stay on this chat, man. There's like 120 people here, and they're all just chitty chit chat. Jim Smith, the ones I sent you a messenger yesterday. I also barracks. I also found the command centers fantastic. Man.
Awesome. Those Quonset hut sets are cool.
Jim, where did you find those? Throw it in the chat if you would, and maybe I will go hunting. Jeremy Kerr's here. What's up, dude? Good to see you.
What's up, dude?
And then Jeff Butler, I'm here. Glad to be. What's up, Chad and Pete? I brought the punch and pie. Good job.
Awesome.
Thanks for being here. Man of Action says, yeah, I got one. I think she's pretty cool for an army builder figure. The Vala figures are good quality for the buck. Yeah, I
agree.
And they brought their prices down while other prices were going up. And then people were like, well, they're too expensive. Damn guts. Hoping Hama gets rid of the other two Snake Eyes. Yeah. And the Revanche androids in the new Skybound run. I guess we'll see. So, but we still have Serpentor Khan. Yeah. Isn't he still a thing? Have you seen that, Scuba?
No.
Serpentor Khan? Yeah.
No.
It's a thing. Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah. It's like Serpentor 2.0, 3.0. I want to say 2.0, but it might be 3. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Lord. Serpentor Khan. He's got like long hair.
Yeah. Lives at the beach.
Yeah, he's a little dude bro-ish, but yeah, it's Serpentor dude bro. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. But yeah.
This, like man, I command.
I caught my first tube today.
You what?
Yeah, I was
caught my first tube.
Yeah. Patrick's drunk. It's a party now. Right? Speaking of party, Will's here.
Bourbon before. Hey, what's up, Will?
Hello, Will. Good to see you. And I think I'm going to be hanging out with Will on his 1-8 team this Sunday.
Excellent.
I'm pimping myself out this week.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? You do the voice better than I do. What voice? I don't know what we're talking about. Does Black Major got them out yet? Oh, I guess.
Oh, probably the Red Shadows. Not yet. That was a tease of what's to come, I think, for 2024.
What did I do with a voice? Looks like Chad has a lucrative future as a voice actor. I don't even know what we're talking about. No idea. I'm still trying to get to the chat here. Dem Guts. Eagle Force is doing Red Shadows, and the Kraken 2 should release first quarter. Yep, they sure are. Yeah, Monster Force, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are cool.
They're not Red Shadows because they have what, like Creature from the Black Lagoon, aka and a werewolf, etc., etc. Yeah. Man of Action says, yeah, that Desert Rat guy is pretty cool. Yeah, he's actually quite a rad dude. And James said it is a Warpath.
Warpath. Nice.
The paint apps on that.
Yeah,
amazing. Amazing. Completely just
very cool.
World awesome.
Leslie loves her favorite's Bloody Pandora. believe it or not. Miss Strawberry Shortcake, she's like, is it wrong? I really want Bloody Pandora. I was like, what do you mean is it wrong? If that's what you want, get what you want. And she was like, okay. So she
click that button. Click it.
Oh, so she's got Bloody Pandora, and then it's, Strawberry Shortcake Palooza in her office. But there's Pandora.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Why get creative when you can have 50 Snake Eyes repaints?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we're talking about dollies and IPs. I'm gonna pause here for a second. I'm sorry, chat. I'm trying to keep up with all of you. I'm like a one man army here. Snake Eyes. Do you think that, like, what are your thoughts on Snake Eyes? Like, pros and cons.
I always liked him. Yeah, that's Reese. She wants to be on too.
What are your thoughts?
Yes, Reese, we're talking about Snake Eyes. No, he's a much beloved character. He always was. He had that mystique. Craig and I would fight over. It was his Snake Eyes, but we would fight over who got to be him. When it was, hey, we're gonna play Joe's. Be like, dude, you were Snake Eyes yesterday. Please I want to be. I was the older brother, but I'm like, let me be Snake Eyes for once. And then of course in the cartoon, it's just badass. But yeah, I feel like he's gotten to be this Boba Fett character where you're like, oh, for crying out loud. Like,
I call him G.I. Jesus. Right? Like, he's like the MacGuffin. If you need something done, frickin' send in Snake Eyes.
Yep.
My thing with Snake Eyes has always been, it's good, but he's a detriment at the same time because, yeah, you nailed everything. He has the mystique. He's faceless. He has like no identity. And then when they came out with the movie, you see why that was a bad idea to give him a face and a mouth that wouldn't shut up and an identity and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of one of those things like, who are the first 3 or 4 figures that ever come out when they do a Joe relaunch?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Every time. Gonna get that mold. Oh my God, it's been paid for 18 times over.
Right. It's just kind of one of the things, like, I understand Snake Eyes, especially now, like everyone was talking about with IDW to Skybound and stuff, and now it's been confirmed that Snake Eyes isn't a dude, it's like a moniker now. Kind of like when Dick Grayson became Batman, or when John Paul Valley became Batman. Do you think that you could do a complete revamping of G.I. Joe and still have Snake Eyes in it?
Yeah, I think he could. Dare to be, well, again, because I was watching Kirk talk about it. Dare to be creative. Dare to, play to this new generation of 8, 9-year-olds that you need to get captured into your brand. They don't know who Snake Eyes is. They're not going to be like, hey, where's Snake Eyes? They have no idea. And why not have some other new mysterious, I don't know. That's where the creativity of it all, like,
right.
For crying out loud, it doesn't have to be the same stuff. I mean, I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love my old vintage, stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to try and make this something new, why not go completely new?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even talking like first wave classified, like, we're going to make them look futuristic like the video game and all that. Like, no, I'm talking about
Duke, Scarlet, Roadblock on and on.
Yeah.
And on.
Like, nope. This is stuff you've never seen.
How do you think classified? Obviously, we know that people went kind of about the hair straightener gun and the shin pads and the asymmetrical, all that stuff. But how do you think classified would have been received if, say, like I've argued before, if they came out with it right away? When Real American Hero launched in '82, they had the whole line, right? It wasn't just like, oh, here's 5 figures. It was all of them for the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel it would have been received if instead of getting Colonel Hawk and the MMS, we got like a General Falcon and a Snake Eyes, and then all new everybody else.
Sure.
How do you think that would have gone?
You know what? That it would play to both our adult collector sensibilities and heart that love those characters, but at the same time, like, well, here's a couple of those, but we're moving on. We've got a new team that's assembled. We've got just a couple faces or code names that you might recognize, but other than that, you know,
right?
we're moving on, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I argue, and I also tie in other things. I want to bring this comment up real quick, and then I'll get back to what I was doing. So Asherman says, I miss the days of competition. That is how we got so many great toy lines out of the 80s. We had so many companies then with so many different lines.
Well, they weren't afraid to take a chance.
No.
Even if it really sucked, you know.
Yeah.
They tried it for a year or two and then
yeah, I mean, once they got past their whole pitch meeting thing, and then they went to production, they had to get past that first year, right? And that goes for all sorts. I mean, if you open a small business, you got to get past that first year.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing goes for toy IPs and those lines and comic books, video games. You got to get past that first game or that first movie before you can milk it with a sequel, right?
Right.
Do you? This isn't a bashing thing. Do you think that?
No.
And it's almost kind of a, one thing leads to another. Do you think that Hasbro getting so big solely based off of G.I. Joe, right? Transformers, yeah, kind of, but they still had that deal with Takara, whereas Joe was just there.
Yeah, that was just
printing money. And even Kirk said it when he was the vice president of Boys Toys. It was Joe that was bringing in all that money.
Sure.
Do you think that Hasbro buying up like Milton Bradley, Kenner, Tonka, all that blah 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 blah? Do you think that kind of maybe has something to do with where we're at today?
I think it has a lot to do with where we're at. It's I don't want to use the word dumbed down, but when you don't have anybody except for Mattel that you're worried about, and even then, I'm not sure they're really all that worried about. You've got all these IPs. I know when I was thinking about today's topic, and I'm like, Mask.
Yeah.
And everybody says, oh, Mask. Super articulation in those vehicles, the tooling and engineering would make them very expensive if they were done exactly like we all knew them as kids. But maybe they don't have to be as involved. I don't know. But you've got these IPs that are just like, oh, yeah, it's on that shelf back there getting a little dusty.
Yeah.
But it's because they did make all that money on Joe, which allowed them to just suck up these other toy companies. Tonka tried, and got overextended, and Hasbro's like, okay.
When Tonka bought Kenner, Hasbro was like, "Oh, I was waiting for that," because then they're like, "Yeah,
be like,
yeah, what's up, Lord Palpatine? Good to see you,
Phelps." But yeah, it takes away that competition. It takes away the need to be super creative because, well, shit, we own everything. Somebody, Jones, list the brands that we now own, irregardless if we're doing anything with them.
Yeah.
And now we see Peppa Pig on the investor sheet, not G.I. Joe, which makes me cry.
I asked the man that directly, why isn't Joe on this investor sheet? And he was like, they don't care about G.I. Joe. I was like, oh, that hurt. It hurt. And he's like, it's the truth, Yeah. Here's a correction. Yes. In his announcement, Bobby said that Walmart contacted him. That is correct. Yes.
Fantastic. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if I made it sound like he reached out to Walmart, but
he really didn't clarify, but still, that's cool.
Yeah, actually.
And what's up, World Made?
Yeah. Good to see you, buddy. like an hour in. Hey, what's up, bro?
And your lovely wife.
Sorry.
Good peeps.
Screaming Goat. Yeah. Scott Hughes is accusing you of having a Poseidon Adventure room with an upside down flag.
I would not be opposed to that. That would be really
That'd
cool.
be pretty rad.
I mean, that whole raise the flag episode.
And Poseidon Adventure is a good movie.
Yeah, and Poseidon. Oh,
yep. Valerse will have a better selection than Hasbro. Yeah, maybe. I mean, either way, it's interesting times, right? We'll see what happens. Ratface44 is here and says hi.
Hey, what's up, James?
Good to see you. Yeah. I'm just cruising. Jim Largo is here and says that my code name is Goat Scream McRanterson. Okay, I'll take it. No, it's actually Xerxes, but I'll take that. I will also answer to the name of Tuffy Tuffington III. I will answer to that.
McRanterson, party of two.
Yep. First name Goat Scream? No? Okay. I like this comment. I doubt I'm the first to say this, but I think Valaverse forced Hasbro into stepping up its game.
Yeah.
Blast effects?
Yep.
For sure. Sure there are a lot of other ways, but blast effects is the one that...
Yeah, the blast effects is the shining example in my mind. Like, which is cool. Everybody wins.
Goat Scream McRanterson. I guess that's it, man. I'm gonna
stuck.
Yeah, that's it. It's there. Kiwi G.I. Joe Customs and Collection. Thanks for hanging out. Says I'm starting to get into classified series now. That's totally cool.
Neat. Totally cool. Still would like to find a Cobra eel. Not gonna lie, I love that. As I have yet another vintage, just at arm's reach. I can't ever not grab him. But
somebody reached out to me after the part one of my Joe room was like, you only have one eel, and I'm like, no, I only have one eel there. You haven't seen the moray yet.
Yeah, the moray's packing.
Stand by, right? Just wait one, hang out, like enjoy part one. It's kind of easy.
It's like a battalion on the moray.
Well, the thing is, like, all of that is populated. So I got one vehicle with like 10 bats hanging out on it. So
yeah,
whatever. Steven says yes, Dr. Detroit, we're the national president of the Screen Actors Guild. Also known as Film Actors Guild. Fran Drescher. Yeah, played a prostitute. Sure did. I'm looking for more stuff related. So, Masters of the Universe. That's kind of one of those lines. Obviously, it's an evergreen IP now. I would say, by all means, anybody hanging out in the chat, if you don't agree, please let us know. Genghis Serpentor. I thought it was Serpentor Khan. Sorry, I just got distracted. Like, so Masters of the Universe came out in 1981, correct? And then it died a spectacular death in 87.
Correct.
Doing that thing that you saw a lot of other toy lines make the mistake of doing, where the two main heroes weren't available. And you see that now Hasbro does not make that mistake with Star Wars. They're like, here you go, baby. Jedi Luke, Darth Vader. Boom, all the time. Right? Smart.
Yeah.
And I would argue that's kind of why we always see Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. They're the most popular, but just like with He-Man, Skeletor, Luke, Vader, they're the most popular, right? Generally, things, if not everything, revolves around those two characters. The light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the good and the bad, throughout all of those IPs. But Masters of the Universe died a spectacular death in 87. It had come back here and there, right? We got the 2000X, and then we got the Mattyverse or Matty Collector or whatever.
Yeah, Matty was 08 to 2017.
And Matty Collector, that was the first time I was kind of jealous of Mattel and how they handled Masters of the Universe, because being someone that had to deal with the Joe Club, figures, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, this is just a kit bash of the last one I got. This is just a kit bash. They keep using that same rig with the weird little knife at the 45-degree angle over and over and over. And it's like, none of this is new. Like, this is legit a 25th like grunt, and you just repainted it. And like,
we have $1 and we're gonna use it.
They got bad toward the end, whereas Matty Collector kept getting better. And
and
so
those
I saw Matty Collector going up and the Joe Club stuff going down. I guess my question that I'm slowly getting to, when Masters of the Universe Revelation came out, and everybody knows the story of how ugly it got with Kevin Smith and Clownfish TV, and it's not about He-Man, it's about Tila and this and that, and numbers don't lie, right? So it started strong, it petered out, and the Revolution trailer now isn't even really getting traction. I didn't even know that a new one just came out like 5 days ago. It has like not a lot of views for being a Netflix show, right? Doesn't have a lot of views for that trailer. Do you think that Masters of the Universe and how they tried to roll out new, more adult-themed animation is kind of making Hasbro look at how that played out for them, and they're kind of backing off on Joe stuff?
I'm sure they took notice of that and went, "Ooh, better you than us."
Yeah. But then they were over there like, "Hey, we made that Snake Eyes."
Yeah, we made Snake Eyes. It was gonna be yeah. Too bad we could have shelved that and wrote it as a tax write-off.
I don't see why they couldn't for Paramount, right? I mean, that's what Warner Brothers did with Batgirl. When David Zaslav came in, he was like, "Get that out of here."
But as an adult collector, with my buddy Shabby, that we were excited. I was actually visiting him for the very first time, and the first couple episodes had dropped of the new cartoon, and we were all geeked up, to hang out and watch those together for our shared love of Motu, among many other things, and knowing the hype that it's going to pick up right where the old left off, and we're like, all right, the animation, I get it, it's not going to be the same. I'm all right with that.
I like the animation. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I did think the animation was cool, but I'm now like, I dabble in Japanese anime stuff. Go figure why, but I do here and there.
Whereas
that didn't bother me
as kids. Japanime.
Yeah. But then you were like, "What's this store? What? Did they just take out He-Man
and Skeletor
and Skeletor, the two major?" I'm like, "What?" We're looking at each other like, "What in the Sam hell are we watching?"
Yeah,
I was like, "I don't even know what's going on." This is so. Yeah, they're gonna have to take that Joe brand, because we always like taking it back to Joe, right? They're gonna have to take that Joe brand, and they're gonna have to make something that's appealing to, my next door neighbors, their kids.
Yeah,
not me. I mean, I'll go see it, but it needs to appeal to them to bring them into the fold.
I always think it's funny that a lot of the items that we go after as collectors, we go after items from when we were kids. There is the emotional attachment to these items, the nostalgia and things, but we're taking that stuff and we're like sucking it into the future at the same time, because we want those things from the past. We want flags and Defiance and Crusaders, and people are all screaming out, make a classified scale Night Raven. Steve's Toys made a classified scale Night Raven. He laid that thing out on a queen size bed. It took up the whole foot of the bed. Yeah, I saved the picture. I'm going to get Steve's Toys on here, and we're going to talk about like, what are the challenges of making 1/12 scale, like world building stuff. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But we want to suck those things into the now, but we don't want them to change. And I have to say that I feel that us, and I'll even put you and me in there because we are adult collectors, but not all of us fall into that trapping where we want those things, but we want them in the now. And I think that
well, it's
it's self-defeating.
When they launched Origins in 2020, it was like it played again to that heartfelt, like, yeah, that's the figures that we knew and loved, and that is cool. But oh my God, they got better articulation. You can actually, pose them, and being old geezers. What do we do with our toy? We pose them, as much as us, that's playing for us, which is fine.
Oh yeah, you make a shelfie and that's it. Yep.
Yeah, which is cool. I can lose myself for hours doing that, and that's fun. But at the same time, my neighbor, he can play with He-Man and Skeletor and smash them up. He can rip the arms off and plug them on. He can make different, customs. That's cool. That's thinking in the now of how can we appeal to this younger audience.
Do you feel that if appealing to the younger audience, getting kids involved, which obviously needs to tie in media as well, right?
Sure.
Marvel Legends has the MCU, which has been going down the drain. Star Wars has all their stuff, which has been going down the drain. Masters of the Universe has, Revelations, Revolution, which is more for the adult because it picked up right where, the Filmation stuff left off, which is kind of what Resolute did, by the way, for G.I. Joe.
Right.
And then they had the kids show as well. So they had those running concurrently, which I thought was super smart because you're drawing kids into your brand, and then as those kids get a little older, they're like, I want that He-Man now and not this little Fisher-Price firefighter looking He-Man. And so you still got him in your brand, right? You still got him. And as much as we all like to say brand loyalty's bullshit, it's a thing. Like it is a thing. Like if you like Masters of the Universe, you like Mattel. They're hand in hand. It's peanut butter and jelly. If I like G.I. Joe, fucking Hasbro. There it is. It's just, you like Action Force, Action Man, boom, Palatoy. That's how it is. Asha Man asks, why is it every toy company in line has the soft, bendy weapons? It's not just Joe's or Hasbro. McFarlane, all their lines, Jada, Halo, Fortnite, Masters, any long weapon is bendy. Do you see that? Because again, like I don't buy new stuff, so I don't really see that.
Yeah,
I don't see it with the Vala stuff. Do you?
Not typically, no, not with Vala stuff, but with Motu, some of those weapons, you're like, get in that, and it's like, but yeah, as I've come to learn the industry term, the durometer.
Yeah, the duro. Yeah. It is the duro. Correct.
I think at the end of the day, what's a toy company in business for? To make money, and so they cut where they think they can cut, and sometimes poor decisions get made, and maybe they make a running change. Maybe they needed to make that running change a whole hell of a lot sooner. Maybe they just went, fuck it, I don't care, put it out there.
They'll buy it anyway. That's the big thing. They'll buy it anyway, and they know that people will. They know you will. They're like, we're taking plastic off the packaging because we're trying to save the environment. Your figures are made out of plastic, buddy. Like, if you're trying to save the environment, and this was the blanket argument, go back to 1/18 scale. If you want to save plastic, well, no, we're not trying to save plastic like that. We're trying to save the environment by only taking it out of the packaging, right? Wink. That's not what that was for. It was saving money, But the last question: what regulation caused this? None. Just like Pete said, like other people have said, it's a cost-cutting measure. That's all it is. So you can talk to anybody in the industry and they'll tell you there is no regulation about the softness of toys these days.
Because I mean, Bobby's talked about it at length, and you've crafted this figure, and it's done right. It's done homage to the comic appearance. He's got these weapons with that, and then it goes to marketing cost approval, and they say yes, nope, yep, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What do you do? And you're like, well, that's
slash.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what we're. If we're gonna do it, this is how we're doing it.
That's also
And you
why
go,
you don't
"Man."
see many play features these days. Play
Mhm.
features are added cost. They're generally the first thing to get nixed.
Well, it's like Shabby and I've talked about Mechaneck, which is a
Yeah.
you know, in the day you hit it in his neck. You know, he's kind of a goofball, but he was one of my figures.
Extendar.
Extendar. Sponsored
Yeah,
by Extendar. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
But yeah, the Mechaneck that they did in Origins.
Wait.
That's what she said.
I owed you that. And you even froze.
So the Origins is just, you know, and then kink, you know, it doesn't have that built-in play feature because they're like, nope, that costs more money. Sorry.
Look at this guy. 1951 hours, so right. 7:51 East Coast time. Let's see how far behind you are. Like 20 minutes. Not bad.
Yeah, only 20. Hey, the chat's hopping.
Yeah, and it's right. I'm here for my friends, everybody, right?
Yep.
And that
This is like a big
covers
bar hangout.
Yeah. We're just hanging out. We're all talking, right? Oh, Sal's here. What's up, everybody? Hi, Chad and Scuba. Hello. Good to see you.
What's up, Sal?
Lord Palpatine, question for Mr. Scuba Pete. What is the one toy that you need in your collection that you have not been able to get your hands on?
Been able to not get my hands on until now. I do not have a Wondar He-Man, which is you know, that's like what are you doing with $1,200? Yeah, it's up there.
Do you need to have like the original Wondar? Like,
no, I've got the new one, and
Oh.
I'm like, he's cool.
I got you.
I never thought I'd own a desert rat, and that showed up this week thanks to my friend Gary in England who sourced that out of Brazil. So go figure. You know, it's like dreams do come true.
So way down south of us, England. Yeah. Okay.
Right? Yeah. Just crazy where these things are living at. A very recent find from the Xenia Toy Show that I did not think I would own in any current time span was a vintage Scareglow, complete comic and the card back. So I mean, literally, it's just missing the bubble. So I never thought I would own one of those. Costs as they are, but again, at that Xenia show, people were like, you literally just picked up something to look at it and be like, oh well, wow, that is just freaking awesome. Thank you for letting me hold it. And they're like, oh wait, I can do better on the price. You know, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll talk. And yeah,
your wallet's just like
my wallet smoking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I'm into you know, I was watching Starcom cartoon last night for the first time, and I'm like, oh, because I do see those toys out, and I'm like, those are cool with the little wind up mechanisms and the magnets and stuff, and I'm like, that is a line I could easily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a space toy. I love a good space toy.
Speaking of space toys, at that toy show, the store that sponsors a lot of the stuff on my channel, they had all of the Captain Power vehicles sealed, all of them.
Wow! And you know what? That so my buddy Ron popped up to Xenia to hunt, and he scored a ton of boxed Captain Power vehicles for not a lot of money.
No, they're not a lot. No,
you know,
they're not a lot each. If you get them all in one go.
Yeah.
He
was like, what if I took all three? And they were like, it was crazy. I'm like, dude, all of a sudden he goes, I guess I'm collecting Captain Powers now.
Look at me go. I mean, it's not like it's a huge line. It's not like Joe with like 500 plus figures. So.
Right.
Steven is still trying to get over the caramel snake eyes.
Yeah, that did not impress me at all.
That is one of those things where
why
that is a complete example
get
of
her
psychology of toy collecting. Right? And it was never a thing, never. And then they're like, just make him tan, dude. Whatever. Just okay, done.
Hey Jones, what paint do we have a whole lot of?
Tan and bronze. Why? I mean, why not? Right? And that's the thing.
I just see those and go. I mean, I get it. You know, like we were talking earlier, if you missed out on a Snake Eyes, you can go to Ollie's now and pick them up for like $20. And oh, yep, Leslie, yep, your secret's out. Strawberry shortcake and bloody Pandora.
That's so
the whole interweb knows.
Perfect. Way to go.
But I mean, I get occasionally looping back and getting some of those core characters that we all know and love, but at the same time, when you see something silly like that brown Snake Eyes, you go, wow, what a wasted opportunity for something new.
I look at that Caramel Crunch or whatever Desert Snake Eyes. I immediately see Desert Scorpion. I don't see Snake
Eyes.
I see Desert Scorpion. And I'm like, you could have, if you really wanted to,
you could have tweaked it.
Still could. Do a couple of little added, tchotchke thingies here and there. Bam, Desert Scorpion.
Give him a giant black scorpion. Come on.
Yeah. It's not Caramel Crunch Snake Eyes, it's Desert Scorpion because it's got a scorpion. Ugh.
He's deadly as hell.
Got a pet scorpion, okay? Man of Action is asking, has anyone picked up the Action Force comic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have all of them except for Tony's because that one's hard to find.
No. That one is a bit tricky.
Tony's is the one I don't have. Yep. I have all the rest of them so far, I want to say. But yeah, I'm real big into the comics because I love the story. I love the lore. I love how all these characters have history and rich backstories and things like that. That's the stuff that I'm into. Yeah, the Dollies are great. Just talking in general, but I like story. I like conflict and things like that. It wasn't telescoping straight arm Darth Vader that made Lucasfilm a $4 billion company. It was the stories and the movies.
Yeah, it was a great story.
Right? I need the stories first, and that's why, like, as a kid growing up with a real American hero, it was the toys and the comics long before it was the 5-parters, the reoccurring Sunbow show. It was the comics. And then that's when, when the cartoons came out, and I'm like, it's a little different. Even as a kid, like, I could understand that they were different. But yeah, it's always got to be story first. Absolutely. And that's, I think that's partially why I have beef with Classified. Not only because on a personal level, I don't need this shit in another scale. I don't need to restart my collection, which is what they're trying to get people to do. But there's no story. Like, where's the story? There's nothing. They came out with a video game, which there were some cool little Easter eggs in that game. I will give them credit for that. But that was it. Everything else is like non-existent. It's just like Dolly, 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 repaint. I don't know, but that's just me. And that's where I'll give Masters of the Universe credit. At least they tried to do story. They they tried
new stories, and they're doing you've got the mini comic still with every figure, even though in a wave it's the same comic, but at least they're trying. Bloody Pandora's the crossover we all need.
Yeah,
I mean, even Strawberry Shortcake. Leslie and I were talking about this morning over coffee, and there's new Strawberry Shortcake. That was
an
old Kenner IP.
Yep.
And
friggin' Rainbow Bright.
Yeah, Rainbow Bright. She was like 2000. So, we had the 1980s Kenner, but it was 08, 2012.
He's hitting the notes. Hit them notes, boy.
And then now 2023, because I was at Toy Department up in Cincinnati, and they had an entire island, and it was all brand new strawberry shortcake. With
Did they make you pay cash only?
no, they did not.
Oh, really? They only do
in
that
the brick and mortar. You can pay with your credito.
Well, I love you to death, Pete. I do, and I know that you're not going to take personal offense to this, but fuck those guys.
I avoid them at the shows. Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
But I'm telling you, their brick and mortar up there above Cincinnati is something to behold. It's nuts what they get in. And I bought a lot of strawberry shortcake in their place. Vintage, boxed, crazy. Anyway,
aliens, right?
Alien.
Speaking of which, Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens loves friggin' G.I. Joe. Loves it.
Really?
There are pictures of me and the ma'am with Giorgio Tsoukalos, and this dude has the biggest smile on his face. We were at El Paso Comic Con 2 years ago, and we're walking around, and she's in her Baroness armor, and I'm in my, Cobra officer, because I'm like her security, right? Because it works for couples costuming.
Oh, and good stuff.
We're starting to do the runs, right? You do the laps, not the runs, but we're starting to lap. We had just got in the building. You know how it is, right? Go left, go right, make a decision. We went to the right. That's where all the famous people are.
Mm-hmm.
And down the way, I'm like, oh, it's Corporal Hicks, right? So, and I'm like, I'm excited. And then we walk past Giorgio Tsoukalos, and he's talking to someone. He's like, hey, G.I. Joe. And we were like, yeah, what's up? And he's like, you guys look great. Those are the best costumes here. Come here. And there's people standing there with him,
waiting.
And he's like, he just get out of my face. Like, he just straight ignored them. And he's like, where'd you guys get your costumes? We're like, oh yeah, we made them and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, that's so great. And we're talking, he's like, I love G.I. Joe. I remember watching G.I. Joe. I grew up on
that's awesome.
And I was like, yeah, we collect Joe and all that stuff. And he's like, that's so great. Hey, let's get a picture. And then we got some pictures with him. And I was like, rad. Just the Ancient Aliens, dude. Totally cool.
Most ancient alien theorists agree Chad and the ma'am's costumes are spot on.
If you look at this ancient Egyptian hieroglyph, there's the Baroness. Will says, I prefer OG Snake Eyes when he was Mysterious Commando.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The movie, don't. I mean, I like that. I remember, I didn't get a lot of the Joe comics as a kid, but I do remember getting that Snake Eyes Origins issue, where they talk about Vietnam, and I was like, what? I'm in the back of the Oldsmobile.
27?
Yeah. And I'm just like, what?
And that's one of those things, like it gave backstory, but it wasn't just Snake Eyes, right? It was Stalker and Tommy and other guys who were killed in action, but actually come back much later in the comics, and that adds more tension to the story. Because then, if you're a long-standing G.I. Joe Marvel Comics fan, in like issue 80, this dude comes back, and you're like, oh, he died, but no, he's not dead. Here he is. He's a bad guy. Great, absolute great stuff. Yeah, Just Jeff says we all know that Shipwreck is the real star of the no, if only Michael were here, because I can't do it as well, right? Yeah.
Just need the giant Polly.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, that's what he needs. He needs Big Bird. Huh? Could you imagine if you did a freaking G.I. Joe Sesame Street crossover? And Shipwreck has Big Bird and Mutt has like Snuffleupagus. Somebody needs to make that. And then, like, I don't know, somebody, Cobra could have like Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
Or, whatever. Spirit's got like Elmo. Spirit's got Elmo.
Cobra has 2 missiles.
2. Yeah, we're going to market that. Stuart Jardine says that Snake Eyes is oversaturated just like Wolverine. And
Like
I do agree
like
with
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Yep.
At least Wolverine's cool. Snake Eyes is cool. They're both a little overexposed, but what did Boba Fett really ever do? Nothing. He didn't freeze Han. All he did was follow them. He didn't do shit. He never did anything. He had a clean shot at Luke Skywalker and missed. Right? On the skiffs, like he just took his time, right? And he got a good sight picture and fired, and it went like 4 feet over his shoulder, and then Han hit him. And I was like, you didn't do anything, dude. You know, he lands in Luke's face. Luke's like, fuck out of here. And he's just like, you know what I mean?
Dies like a little punk.
But the thing about this comment that I really wanted to highlight is you talk about things transpire that aren't always the best, and we learn from those experiences. So, you know, a kid sadly choked on a Battlestar Galactica missile, and therefore we got the non-rocket firing Boba Fett.
Yep.
And so the couple of missile firing prototypes became very rare, things of legend, right? Talk about the real holy grails of toys. Wolverine was very popular, especially after X2. And then they were like, oh, well, we're going to make a Wolverine origin movie. Did no one learn from that mistake when they were like, let's make a Snake Eyes origin movie? They just drove right over that.
Yeah.
You know, shitty characters, changing stories, all this stuff. And they're just like, yep. Hey, did you see what Fox did to Deadpool? Let's do it. You know, and then they just went on. They just went on ahead just like that. But that's it's a good parallel, you know.
It's a good parallel, and I think you're seeing the vast majority of people voting with their dollars again as far as the movie properties go. I'm looking at you, Marvels. You know, like
ooh, yeah, the Marvels.
I mean, I'm not talking about like if you like it, that's cool, but gross. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, like the Marvels did worse than the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk, which was the very, like, that was like their first foray into, we're going to try to do like a little Easter egg kind of shared wink universe. And I like that Incredible Hulk movie. I think it's good.
I did too.
I thought Abomination was freaking dead on. Whatever. Yeah, Keep on Collecting says they gave him a face and a mouth that wouldn't shut up. Absolutely. Let's see. Cruising through the chat. Ooh. Still got a bunch of people hanging out, and we're going to call it pretty soon because I got to get over to 3 POA. But
you guys
want to
3 POA.
You want a little teaser for next week?
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
Should I?
Do it.
Okay. This is a teaser for next week for everybody who decided to come and grace me and Scuba Pete with your presence. You saw it here first.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be great.
Yeah. So next Wednesday, just before Thanksgiving, the Articulated Ninja and I shall be discussing 118 versus 112 scale.
It's fantastic.
I've been looking forward to that for a while, and our schedules haven't really been able to line up, but now they're gonna, so we're gonna do it. Drew G,
great dude. Hey, Drew, what's up?
Yeah. Thanks for being here, Drew. Good to see you. Yeah. So next Wednesday, the nameless, faceless ninja. Speaking of ninjas, since we were talking about Snake Eyes, he's going to be hanging out with me. Scott Hughes says, I always think it's ironic that the most beloved Joe happened because of lack of money. Yep. If I'm not mistaken, Snake Eyes happened because they couldn't afford to paint apps. So they made them all in black. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yep.
So it was, they had to remove some of the deco off all of the figures, and they decided we didn't want to make all of them less than
but
great.
Let's just make him jet black.
Yeah. So they were like all black. That's
which to us as kids were like, oh,
Yeah.
You know, he's not like
he was
the
the
others.
military version of Batman. And everybody knows, like, what makes Batman cool. He's mysterious. You know,
He came out of
all that
nowhere.
stuff. Yeah. He wears his underwear on the outside. I'm cool. Everybody pees their pants if you're cool. Was that Scuba Steve, right? I'm Scuba Sam. Scuba Steve's father.
Sandler. Oh.
Yeah, Jason says G.I. Joe needs new characters. So somebody compiled every character that's ever been in G.I. Joe between comics, animation, whatever, and there's like almost 800 figures or 800 characters, 800 individual characters.
Would not doubt. Yeah.
Haven't even come close to getting all of those in action figure form.
It's a target-rich environment.
It is. It's completely target rich. And that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people want to crap on reaction, but reaction is reaction. It's for reaction people. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that. It's just not my wheelhouse. It's not even on my radar.
It's not my, I mean, I was gifted a reaction Destro. He's cool.
Their card stock is so good.
It's really thick. But yeah, this is kind of the first time. Oh, yep. Do it.
It's what?
It's so thick.
That's what she said.
I didn't want to interrupt you while you were talking. Yeah, absolutely. But reaction, they're like, oh yeah, Blind Woodsman, make that dude, right? Make all his dogs, make the sled, make that female strato.
I love that deep cut. I just want him in O-ring. Like, come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, here's a good, right? Street Fighter has always been adding new characters, not recreating old ones. Yeah, totally. World Made of Cardboard says, in order for a toy line to succeed, it must allow the child to world build.
Sure.
Vehicles and playsets are essential. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap $20 playsets right there. I mean, they work just fine. Just because the name on the item changes doesn't mean that you should charge 5 times as much for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just always been one of my arguments. Like that playset's very toyetic, right? A lot of stuff moves on it and things like that.
Yeah.
It's
got a lot going on.
Yep.
And very affordable, especially these days. I mean, let's face it, nobody's running out and buying their 10-year-old a $40 deluxe figure. I mean, like, no.
That's why that whole argument is like, oh no, these toys are for kids. Bullshit, right? You do like this online super hype like reveal thing where you're like, oh, pre-orders are live now. Go get your toys, go get your dollies before they sell out because we only made like 40 of them. What kid's gonna do that?
Yeah, there's no
kids aren't like, hey, mom, I need your credit card so I can go sit in front of the YouTube and
I'm taking your credit card to school because at noon is the drop for
yeah, I can't go to school today. Hasbro reveal. No, those aren't for kids. They're not for kids at all. But that's also why you see Ollie's stock going through the roof. Now, yes, they're getting inundated with the peg warming stuff that won't move, but they're still getting good stuff too.
Yeah, somebody was that? I think it was Shabby. He like picked up some Crimson Guards, and he's like, he was laughing at me because I'm like, oh, I paid full price. Oh God,
I know.
And he's like, being British, he's like, you know, for them it was Action Force. They did not know G.I. Joe. That just like, you know, until later in life we found out.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's like, you know what the great thing about this is that not being really a G.I. Joe collector, I'm not FOMO'd or worried about picking it up. I just, when I bump into it and it's on a discount and I like that figure, I don't even know, like, he probably couldn't even tell you, okay, who runs the Crimson Guard? He'd be like, I don't know.
Crimson Guard guy.
Crimson Guard commander, you know, which is fine. So he's like, I just pick them up for cheap, you know, $9 or $12, whatever they are. He's like, it's great. And I'm like, dude, it's awesome that you're excited. and dabbling in this line.
That's part of the whole causality, right? That's the action reaction. So as the figures get more expensive and harder to find, now people are really starting to catch on to the fact that, like, I can calm down my FOMO and I can wait until these things hit Ollie's, Ross, TJ Maxx, because now they're getting all the fan channel shit. They're getting Sergeant Slaughter. They're getting the Target repaint stuff.
Crazy.
Fortnite Snake Eyes, right? They're getting all those things. And like, I can wait till they hit Ollie's. I can buy them at $5. And that's good for the consumer because, action figures being $25, $30, $40, again, price kids out of toys. But at $5, kids can go to Ollie's in these places and get into these lines, which is good for the kids, good for longevity, good for the consumers. The reaction part of that action is now like Walmart, Target, Hasbro, Mattel, whoever are going to look at this and be like, these things aren't selling. Yeah, I'm sure they're selling at the discount outlets, but they're not selling, and they're going to the discount outlets. Well, because people want to pay $5 for a figure. Inflation's a bitch, right? Like that stuff's real.
It is very.
But now, like Michael pointed out in his Giant Man problem video, that I think it's gonna turn around and bite everybody in the ass, because you're gonna see a lot of these companies be like, well, now we got to take these toys out of brick and mortar and just sell them online, which has been something that a lot of us, you and I have discussed it too, that you can see how these companies are they're starting to position this like right at the edge where they're like, we could just take these toys out of brick and mortar entirely, boys action lines, and they'd still sell.
Well, and they've done that in the UK.
Yep. Everything's pulse only. Yep. They boom. And they did it like as soon as one wave ended, they just announced it.
And they, talking to George or any number of friends over there, last year, 2021, their toy shop, Smith's, looked like a toy. I mean, just heaving with figures on pegs. And it's like, now pick a Hasbro property. Nope, not here. Gone.
Yeah.
Online only.
I see McFarlane's DC Multiverse stuff everywhere. I see Masters of the Universe stuff everywhere. Hasbro's like, we can't do play sets. Mattel's like, oh man, what do you want? Snake Mountain? You want freaking Castle Grayskull? Stridor, Panther, Battle Cat, boom, mounts, vehicles, whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. We're gonna have to wrap it up here in a couple minutes so I can jump over to the other. Will says new characters would be amazing. They could make some of them descendants of the original team. Yeah, like the female dial tone is the sister of the original dial tone, Jack and Jill. Get it? To pay homage to the past, they could even have guest appearances by some of the OG crew to help on missions. Yeah,
totally, Will.
Again,
those are good ideas.
When they were coming up with the stories for A Real American Hero in 1979, when they were first discussing Operation Blast Off, they didn't say, hey, let's do a Bullet Man, in Star Wars scale. It completely new, something totally new. And like Kirk really pointed out was that Johnny B. Custom says, I sent a super chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Dude, I'm behind on the chat. My bad. Totally. Thank you for saying that. Johnny sends a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Johnny. I wouldn't have missed it because they star off to the side. I hadn't scrolled down far enough yet. I am not sure I want to see a modern Joe reboot, especially if it's made for modern audiences. I could see where he's getting at there.
Yep,
I grew up in France, and I loved how American Joe was. Dude, thank you so much for the super chat. And that comment is freaking perfect. Yeah. When Kirk Baziggy and I were talking about G.I. Joe, that was one of the things that he really stuck on, was the fact a real American hero. Yep. And that when they took that away, they kind of changed a lot of the Joe stuff. Agreed. Johnny, I read your super chat. I'm sorry I was behind on the chat, brother. Oh, look at this. Look.
Let's wrap this shit up already. Okay, Dad.
Jesus, you're not my real dad. Viper Scout. Happened with the G.I. Joe movie toys. That's why Joe died until Toys R Us picked it up for the 50th. Yeah, because they had the anniversary stuff competing with the movie stuff and different price points and different aesthetics. And, Hasbro's over there like stabbing themselves in each eye while they were doing that. Yeah. Look at that. Laser Dad. Are we live?
We are.
I freaking hope so.
It's not Memorex.
I hope so.
And Chad will be live in 3 POA in not even 15 minutes.
Oh, I think we were talking about we were talking about this. Yeah, that's next week. That's happening. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna have to wrap it up. I love you all. You're all the best. Thank you so much for hanging out with
it's been great.
Everybody. Not me, not Pete, but all you hanging out with each other is fantastic. What do you got coming up, Pete?
I need to edit. I'm sorry, Leslie. I'll give her the credit. Needs to edit. Please, thank you. She's somewhere above me. Edit a whole lot of toy hunt footage from Tuesday. I think it's probably going to be near 20-25 minutes edited.
It's hard to do. It's hard.
It is hard to do because I mean, I'm not, I don't do fluff, filler. I mean, there's just, there's so much good stuff. So got that coming out on the Scubas, on Chasing 80s. I'm almost ready to do another room update because a lot's been going on in here. You can, the glass case is full of Action Force. There's a new glass case just off screen here.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's time for a little update. Yeah, dude, thanks for having me on.
Oh, always. I love hanging out with you. We'll do it again soon. I have a video dropping tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time about that Triple T Cup Transformers G.I. Joe collaborative crossover, which, if you remember, and everybody hanging out in the chat for posterity, I got destroyed when I dropped that and people said it was fake. Because I dropped that news like a year ago and people said it was fake. And it was right after I dropped the news about the Soundwave Thunder Machine. And then we never heard anything else about the Soundwave Thunder Machine. And so everybody was like, oh, they're both fake. They're bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, nope, they're real. Product number, which figures come with it, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, you'd be damn sure in that video. I was like, I fucking told you. Told you. And then there might be a little rumor from a source, because now I have a source, Pete.
You have a source.
I have a source now. Yeah, I do. I have one of those type sources.
Like Deep Throat?
Yeah, kind of. About 1/18 scale Joe from Hasbro. It's in the video. So, yeah, that'll be tomorrow morning. So, anyway.
You sneaky man.
Scuba Pete, you want to sign us out? Don't say
I just want to. I'm not going to say it. I want to thank the chat. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for showing up and making this a lot of fun, even though Chad and I would have fun if it was just the two of us.
Yep.
At a bar with a couple beers. So thank you. And what? Huh?
Oh, are you ready for me to do mine?
Yeah.
Everybody go over to 3 POA and hang out with Ryan.
Like in 9 minutes.
Yeah, and Sal from 2 Cents Toys and myself, and have an awesome day. That's the wrong friggin' outro. Look at me.